When I started working, I was about like 13.
13.
Bro.
That was in LA.
What the fuck, bro? 13? Oh my goodness. Exotic? Damn, she tatted.
Well, I just tell everybody all over because I grew up in like foster cares and juvenile halls and stuff like that. So I've lived everywhere from Long Beach to here in LA, the Valley, Iowa.
Different families?
Yeah. Different families, different
Bro,
places.
she ain't even ugly,
Why
but
did
them
your
tattoos kind of throw
biological
stuff
parents
off,
lose
though.
you?
She ain't even ugly, bro. She actually cute, bro. But the tattoos, just the face ones, really. I don't really give a fuck really about the neck ones. But the face ones is just bad.
2 months old.
Do you know why?
I think my mom was like, pretty drugged out and like also in the game.
Oh, is that right?
And my dad was in prison.
Oh, that'll do it. And you went through high school? You made it through high school?
No,
How far did you go in school?
like the beginning of middle school.
Damn, she didn't get to high school.
And then middle school, I was no longer DCFS. I became probation and I went to juvenile hall. And from there, I just like basically stopped going to school.
And where'd you go then? To the streets?
Just the streets.
Really? What age? How old were you when you started working?
When I started working, I was about like 13.
13.
Bro.
That was in LA.
What the fuck, bro? 13? Oh my goodness. That's different. I don't know, man. She must have like been through some things or something like that, bro. 13.
And you had a pimp at that time?
Yeah. I had ran.
What the fuck? You even had a pimp at 13? Bro, they're recruiting early, bro. Them pimps, they play no games, bro. They recruiting early, bro. Wow.
Ran away from one of the placements, and like this time when I had ran away, normally I had ran away by myself, but this time I had ran away with one of the other girls that was in the placement, and it ended up being her pimp, but I didn't know that it was her pimp, so she ended up going back to the placement, and I ended up staying with the dude.
How was that relationship?
Really rough.
You've had more than one pimp in your...
Yeah.
How old are you now?
Now I'm 23.
You're 23.
Yeah,
so
I just turned 23.
You're still young. How many pimps have you had?
10 years?
I've had
You've been in the game 10 years. Don't tell me 10, nigga. That's one every...
6.
Yeah.
6?
And why do you leave a pimp, or why does he get rid of you, or what happened?
Every pimp I've left, and it's just because it gets too much for me to, maintain and try to maintain myself at the same time.
And right now you're without a pimp.
Right.
So maybe we can talk honestly about that.
Yeah.
Tell me about what it's like for a girl working the streets to have a pimp.
Very unfair, like
Because a lot of, just to preface this, to explain this, a lot of the girls that I interview will say they don't have pimps when they actually do.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to cover for them. So
Yeah.
So you're not covering for anyone right now.
No.
So what is your experience
Oh,
with
the
pimps?
truth.
Like it's very
Here we go.
unsettling, to work that hard and do some of the things that we have to do in order to get the money just to give it to somebody else. And we don't see nothing out of it but like maybe something to eat, a room, or you feel me, our next outfit, our nails done. Anything that they do give us goes right back into work. So it's just like we really don't see any profit from it.
And you're working like 7 days a week
Yeah.
Damn.
and long hours, right?
Yeah. Very long hours.
Is there a quota that you have to make?
Yeah, well, when
That's
I
a
was
good
working
question.
for mine, it was always pretty much a quota. And everyone that I've worked for, I always ended up being just the only girl that they had. So even on slow days for me, like it kind of sucked, like having to pull in 15 to 2,000 when every day it is like $40, $60. It gets tough on those days.
You're saying you're supposed to make up
Yeah.
to 2,000,
Yeah.
but what do you actually make?
Well, I've never had a day, unless I was working by myself, that I didn't meet my quota. Like I stayed out there no matter how cold it was.
So you'll make 1,500, 2,000 a
Yeah.
night. Wow.
Damn.
That's how many guys? How many dates?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What emotions does that
Damn,
bring up in
bruh.
you? I mean, it's got to be hard on a woman.
Yeah, it's hard, like, sitting back thinking on it, because it's just like, a lot of prostitutes or girls that are in the life, like, if we tell somebody that's not in the life or doesn't understand the life, it's like we get judged and, like, categorized by that. Like, oh, she's a hoe, like, that's all she's good for.
Right.
Or that's all she does, like, it's just like, no, it's more to that, because for some of us, it isn't just, oh, she likes hoeing, or, oh, she must do this because she likes sex. Like, no, it's bigger than that.
What do you think a lot of people that are not involved in this kind of life don't understand about girls that do this kind of work?
Like,
It's
some of us...
It's survival, isn't it?
It's survival. Like for me, because I ran away and got involved into it. Like
You had
it
very
was
little.
something that stuck with me. Like it was the only thing that I knew besides getting a job and doing something legal.
And you didn't have much of an education, so
Exactly.
you didn't
And then
have
I had kids at a young age by one of my pimps too. So
how many kids do you have?
I have two.
And who's raising them?
Right now, my grandma. But I have joint custody between me and my brother. But my brother recently passed away too. So
I'm sorry.
yeah,
So you're working today as a renegade,
yeah,
without a pimp.
yeah.
Is that dangerous for you?
Oh yeah, especially places out like Fig, Pomona. Like I've done it a few times by myself out of state. It's not as dangerous because you're a new face, but then again, it's dangerous because you're a new face, and so everybody wants to be in the mix. So who's the light-skinned girl with all the tattoos? Like, no, nobody. I'm just walking.
And the face tattoos came from pimps?
Yeah,
It's like their way of branding you?
yeah.
Damn.
You try to hide them with makeup and stuff like that?
No, I never really tried to hide them from like makeup, like with makeup.
So show me your face tattoo on the side.
Yeah, I had a big Jordan, like about that big, tattooed in black, like jet black.
It said Jordan,
Yeah.
and now you've hidden it with some other design?
Yeah, so the only thing that the dude could think to cover it was a whole bunch of roses, because I already had a rose right here. So I was like, all right,
It's actually pretty.
thank you.
This
And then the
nigga
one on
say
your
everything
eyebrow?
pretty.
The one on my eyebrow, that's actually my best friend, but a pimp got jealous over it, so I had to cover it.
Wow.
So yeah, like the day after I got it, I had to stop talking to the dude. I wasn't allowed to go and see him.
Damn.
He hit me up on Messenger and Instagram a few times, and every time he hit me up, like just out of the random, like I got beat up pretty good for it, just for him hitting me up because supposedly,
So the reputation, the ideas that people have about pimps, at least some of them,
Wild.
you would say is true?
Yeah, for the most part,
That
yeah.
they're physically violent and
Oh yeah,
they'll use intimidation and force and things like that to control you?
yeah,
You give them all the money.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think all pimps are quite like the ones you had. There are some that are truly trying to help girls do what they can with these, in this lifestyle. But I think there's lots, like, especially in LA, where the gangs are so powerful.
Oh yeah. Like I could say that about my last one. My last one, I ended up like basically, I guess you could say like turning him into a pimp. But he ended up being my ex-boyfriend, and I just needed like some type of protection, because it was a lot of stuff going out on Fig, like a lot of girls getting killed.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting killed lately.
Yeah, so
Damn, people
I
get
feel
killed there
like
too?
very unsafe. So I told my ex, like, if you could come and watch me and just have my back and make sure nothing happens, like that, I'll give you half of whatever I make. And so that was the only, I guess, pimp that ended up being like fair with me and, like good treatment.
Hey, are drugs a part of your life?
Yeah.
Wild.
What do you use?
Crystal.
Crystal meth is a popular one now.
Yeah. But
Crystal?
even now, you got to be like cautious of it because it's been a lot of bad batches going around, like cut with fentanyl.
Yeah, fentanyl will kill you.
Yeah.
Damn, bruh.
Is the addiction part of what keeps you in this lifestyle?
Partially, yeah.
Because you can't really function outside of this, getting a regular job wouldn't.
Yeah. Like I've been on it, like on and off now for 3 years. Cause it just like eventually started putting a toll on me, and it was just like the only escape route. Like, okay, boom, when I do this, I don't think about nothing else. I don't second guess going out there and working or none of that. I just go out there, work, get my money, and I'll be cool because it's like everything else gets blocked out. It's like you become numb to everything.
Is your life distressing or depressing to you without the drug?
At times it can be, yeah.
It's got to be a stressful lifestyle.
Yeah.
Are you addicted to this life, to the streets? Most of the girls I talk to say they are.
To an extent, yeah.
It would be hard to just stop and get a regular job, right?
Yeah, because anything that happens or goes wrong is like, okay, boom, if my kids need like diapers or, for me to pay for a babysitter, it's just like, okay, what do I know that within an hour I'll have some type of money to pay for it? Nothing else but going to the streets, so.
Are you saving money?
Yeah.
It's great. You're one of the few that's actually saving money.
Saving money for what, though?
Well, especially now, like not having to give it to somebody or feeling like I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't give it to somebody. It's like, okay, now I have priorities and goals to get out of this lifestyle, because that's the ultimate goal where a lot of females
How
get
old did she say she was?
trapped or like sidetracked from it. Like the goal is to do it and not be stuck in it. Do it and get to where you're trying to get to, so that way you can leave it in the past.
Get out.
You know?
Are you lonely? It's a lonely lifestyle, right?
I think she
Yeah,
said
very
23.
lonely.
Yeah. You think you're meeting all these guys that eventually, it would prevent you from being lonely, but I think it's probably a very lonely life, right?
Yeah. Because even when you do try and settle down and like get into actual committed relationship, it's like, well, for me at least, it's always been that it's stuff like that I tend to bring up to a person, and they end up looking at me like, oh, okay, that's all you are, you feel me? So you're probably gonna cheat on me and this and that and be out in the streets, and it's just like, maybe if you give me the chance, maybe I wouldn't, you know?
It's got to be difficult. What examples of a loving relationship did you see when you were a child, when you were young? You're still young, but when you were younger.
Not much, and when I did, like the only person that I really like could say I felt or like, you know, even got a clue of what love was from was my brother who passed away like about 3 years ago. He ended up killing himself.
Damn.
But
Sorry.
That's deep.
we were like the only true definition of like some type of love, whether it be conditional or unconditionally, because, you know, like I've seen my mom growing up like here and there, you know, and every time I seen her, it was always something else that had went wrong with her. Some other dude beating her up or cracking her in the head with a shovel, you know, because she went through his phone, or she stole somebody's drugs, like.
Your biological mom.
Yeah. So with her, it was just like abusive love, which I think I picked up in a sense too. And like everybody else just like kind of stayed off and did their own thing.
Do you feel like you're in some ways walking in your mom's footsteps?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, in a sense.
Doing the same kind of work and the drug addiction and
Damn near replica, bro.
does doing this kind of work build up your self-esteem or undermine it?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an honest answer right there.
And it's dangerous as well, right?
Yeah, very dangerous.
Have you had things happen to you?
Yeah, quite a few. Like with us, we're told not to get in the car with younger age dudes. For the simple fact, like a lot of the younger age dudes now portray themselves to be pimps when they're really not, or you know, they'll rob us or try and kidnap us.
You'll be kidnapping
My
niggas?
last few situations, I got in the dude's car. It was a pickup truck at that, you know, car seat in the back.
Car
So I'm
seat?
not thinking anything of it. We go down the dark street, go and do our date. And halfway through the date, I felt something metal on my back. And I turned around and the dude had a gun to my back. So of course, like I panicked, freaked out. I started trying to open the door. He had child locked the doors. I had tried like banging out the windows, and that ultimately ended in him like telling me that if I didn't shut up and stop banging on the windows, that he was gonna kill me right there. So I had stopped and I just let whatever happened happen. He ended up throwing my phone out the window, parking somewhere else, took off the condom, raped me and robbed me for everything I had made that night. And I had to go and tell my pimp at the time what had happened. And he's like, oh, I don't care, you know, still go out there and make your trap.
He sent you back out there.
Yeah.
Nigga, that's crazy.
Yep, and then my last incident that I had was while I had a pimp out there, like about two years ago. I ended up getting in the dude's car. He ended up spending all of his time talking and wanted his money back. And that's always been a rule with anybody that I've been with. You're not ever supposed to give the money back. You're supposed to get the money first. You know, if they spend their time talking or doing something else, then that's their fault type of thing. So I didn't give the money back to him. I told him just drop me back off on the blade, you know? And he drove past the blade and started going faster and faster. And I think he hit about 60, 65. And I just remember opening the door, covering my face, and just jumping out. And like that, I thought I only had like scraped the skin off of my body, but I ended up going to the hospital about like 3 or 4 days later, because my pimp at the time ended up going to jail. So it was hard for me to get up by myself and like do things by myself.
Because you were sore from jumping out of the car?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And so I went to the hospital, and they told me that it was a good thing that I ended up going because I had suffered from third-degree burns on my shoulder, both of my knees, both of my hands, both of my butt cheek, and my head was cracked open, and I needed over 30 staples and stitches, and I had to have skin grafts put on. I had to learn how to walk again,
Damn.
how to write.
What?
So
Any job that has this kind of a risk of things like that happening, most people would just get out.
yeah, and I did for a little
real?
bit because it kind of like scared me not
Why'd you-
knowing the person's car that I had jumped out of and not being able to put a face to it. Like, okay, I know if I see him again, I know not to get in his car because I jumped out of his car. It happened so quick. Even though I was sitting there with him for a good 30 minutes, you know, you don't tend to look at somebody's face thinking, okay, he might be the person that I die with tonight, even though that's the case when it comes to being out there. You're not guaranteed the next 2 seconds, let alone the next 2 days, you know?
Yeah, your intuition's got to be very keen, right?
Yeah,
You won't just jump in anyone's car.
exactly.
I see a lot of girls just walk away from certain vehicles.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're doing that, but
Like if the windows are tinted, if the plates are paper plates, or, you know, the California exam, if it's a black dude, like I've even been told like I couldn't date older black dudes. And it was just
Why?
like, okay, like sometimes I would go against that because it's like, you know, not every pimp just sits there and watches every car that you get in, you know?
do you
Older
ever
black
say to
dude, are
yourself
they
that you
pimps or
deserve a
something?
better life than this?
Yeah,
You believe that?
yeah.
That's great. Because you do. No one deserves to be putting their life in jeopardy like that and then getting all the abuse that you end up getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
You been in love before?
Face tap, bro. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're only 23, so don't feel pressure to say yes.
No, I have been.
And it went well until it didn't.
It was hard, like, cause the dude was the total opposite from what I was used to. You know, all the fighting and abusive, and you know, I went from a dude constantly pulling my hair and like getting me down on the ground, kicking me while I was on the ground and spitting in my face, to a guy that tells me that I'm beautiful every time I wake up, and you know, like treats me with respect and make sure that I'm okay and my kids are okay. So
Like you stick to a
I
buddy.
guess it was kind of like more on me that it didn't end up working out,
You couldn't
because
handle- you
I
couldn't-
started becoming what they were to me to him.
You couldn't adjust to
Yeah.
the big difference.
Dang, that makes sense.
Do you have any friends?
She kept it real.
Um,
Damn, don't tell me you got no
No.
friends?
Yeah.
I mean, I always say my kids are my friends.
Yeah.
That's
you know?
lonely, bro.
How do you think?
Wow.
Well, I mean, you've been doing it since 13. I was going to ask you how this life has changed you, but do you feel like it's changed who you are? You've been doing it for 10 years now.
Yeah, definitely.
The streets always change people, it seems.
Yeah, like I'm not,
That shit crazy.
like, I don't trust people.
It's got to be hard out there because everyone's a hustler. Even the tricks are,
Oh yeah.
everyone's a hustler.
And it's the ones you least expect to do anything that ends up being the ones sitting there plotting like, oh, okay, this girl looks like, you know, like she's a little bit skinnier, you know, like she can't defend herself. So I'm gonna go and sit there and plot something on her. But, you know, to us, they look like normal tricks. So yeah, you want to date? Fine. And then we'll end up in a whole situation just because
It's funny. They call this shit a date.
we chose to give him that opportunity and say, oh, okay, yeah, he's just a trick. You know, you can't do that with everybody.
Right. What is this work that you do taught you about men? I assume most of your tricks are married?
Yeah, married or have relationships.
What have you learned about men from doing this?
That a lot of them have secret lives. Like, you would never think that you could see half of these men that go on Fig end up having a wife, 4 or 5 kids, work a good job, but you come to Fig every night. Like, it's like if you're unhappy, like, you know, leave your family. Like, they don't deserve that. They didn't ask for that, you know? But I guess everybody has their reasons on doing the things that they do.
You get crazy requests from some of your,
Oh, yeah.
like what?
Like now I have a dude that pays me just to sit there and talk about my day for like 10, 15 minutes. And he'll massage my feet and take a picture with my feet on his face or something, you know? But
That's wild.
it's all right, because it's just like, you know, I don't have to do nothing. I just have to sit there and let this dude rub my feet, you know?
Did you get guys that asked you to do it without a condom and things like that?
Yeah, I get a lot of guys like that, but to me, my little mind of thinking, like, okay, if you're asking me this and say I was the type of female to say, yeah, okay, just give me extra, how many other girls have you been out here doing that with, you know? And I have kids, so I don't like to take that risk at all.
Right. No, but just being out there, period.
Yeah.
Your life could end any night.
Exactly.
And your kids will be without a mom.
Do your kids know you do that? That's what he should follow it up with.
What advice would you give to a young girl who's thinking about getting into this lifestyle?
It's not worth it.
100%, I bet.
Definitely not worth it.
What's your biggest regret?
This lifestyle. The face tats, nigga.
Probably having my kids and going back to it.
Damn, that's deep. Having the kids and going back to it. Damn. That was deep, nigga. Yeah, she regret that shit, bro. Damn. Going back to Crystal.
What would you say is the most
Damn.
important lesson you've learned in your life?
Whew.
I have like a few, but like probably not to let my guard down too soon. Like, it's okay to tell people some things about you, but not everything everybody should know. Because some people don't have the same intentions and will use it to their benefit and your weakness. Never let like nobody dictate the person you are. Like, don't allow them to have that much control over you to where you're not happy or, you know, you feel like you can't.
I think she could still get her life together, bro. She's only 23.
Yeah, it's a tough lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, very tough.
It's not for everybody.
Definitely not. A lot of people think that, you know, this life is, you know, anybody could get in, anybody can get out, but sometimes that's not the case. You know, when I was in juvenile hall, waiting to get sent to YA, it was like 2 or 3 other girls that I ended up being in juvenile hall with. And the one girl had court, went to court, got released. And when she was picking up her property from Los Patrinos, her pimp was waiting by in a semi-truck and ended up running her over and dragging her. And it was all over the news. We weren't able to watch the news. I mean, but everybody knew what had happened and who had did it, you know? So it's stuff like that where it's just like you see girls try and get out of their life, but you have that one person that's just like, no, you're gonna stay in this, you know? And it's sad. It's very sad. And it makes you second guess getting out of the lifestyle. But I mean, if you really want to, there's always somebody willing to help, you know? Even when it seems like everybody's against you, there's always that one person that's not. Like, I have a niece that's somehow followed similar steps of my own, and it kind of like gets the best of me a lot, especially recently. Like, she's put me in situations where she's like, oh, I want to go out there with you. And I'm just like, oh, no, you do not. Like, no, what the hell? But she's also caught me at a weak point, and to where it's just like, you know what? Fuck it. If you don't give a damn, I don't give a damn either. You think you're ready for it? Go ahead. And she'll get to the point where she's right about to do it, and it's just like, you know, you still got a baby face, you still have your innocence. Like, all right, no, that's not the life for you, you feel me? Like, it's better out there, you know? You finished high school, go to college, you know, do something, make something of your life. And she's actually told me a few times, like, oh, well, I want to be like you. Like, no, you don't, trust, because sometimes I don't even want to be like me. But it's sad, you know, to see somebody my age once before coming to me asking me to help her do the same thing. Like, I can't do that to her, you know?
Hell
Like,
nah.
even some of my homegirls now, well, they call themselves my homegirls. Like, oh, let me go out there with you. And it's just like, nah, I'd rather go out there, you know, than have one of you guys go out there and something happen to you, you know? Not everybody has that street wisdom, you could say. Some people think they could get into this and it'll break them to the point where, you know, they do end up killing themselves or overdosing, you know? Just like some of these guys, they think that they can be pimps, but behind closed doors, you know, they're all lovey-dovey and, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, I didn't mean to do this. Like, you know, you can't lose who you truly are trying to be something that you're not.
All right, Exotic, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck out there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.